Hello, this is Weekend Handicapper from weekendhandicapper.com. In this video, we're going to talk about one of the first things you want to look for when you are handicapping a horse race. And that is whether or not those horses in that particular race are in what's called good form. Now, what is good form? Good form is simply, is the horse healthy, in good condition? Has it been used to racing pretty consistently? Has it been working out pretty consistently? You want to go through there and see what horses are in good form. Now, does this mean that horses that aren't in good form don't win races? Of course not. It's freaking horse racing, right? Stuff happens. You know, I think we're all right using a certain angle every now and then. But over time, being consistently, usually horses that are in good form are the ones that you want to put your money on. So here's some tips, some kind of criteria when you go to handicap a horse race when you're looking as far as form is. Imagine, even in the human world, let's just look outside of horse racing for a little bit. Some of you old enough, most of you probably old enough to remember Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players ever. Remember, he took a little hiatus, he tried to play baseball, minor league baseball. Then he came back to the Bulls wearing number 45, which is different than his iconic 23. But Michael, one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player in the world, he was out of form, he was out of shape. He wasn't the MJ that we all knew, right? It took him a little while to get back to his legendary status, and when he did, he won a few more rings. So even the great Michael Jordan, was in bad form after a layoff. Same way with horses. You know, if a horse hasn't been racing, you could tell on the left-hand side of your program or your past performances, the dates when they've raced. Usually when they have a layoff, they have a line kind of between races that indicates a layoff. So same thing in horse racing. You want to look, see how consistently that horse has been running and how well it's been finishing. I usually like to bet horses that are in pretty good form, that consistently race every 2-3 weeks, somewhere around there. I really take caution when horses are off more than a month or two, especially 2 months, 60 days, 90 days. Now we really got it, unless that horse has a class advantage, which means it's been racing against better competition in the past. You really got to reconsider betting on horses that haven't ran in 2 or 3 months at least. Then, you know, there's sometimes you see a year or more, then you really got to watch that unless those odds are really, really high. Now, some of your top horses don't race that much. Once they are successful, and they usually pick their spots, wait for the big race days and big races with big purses to come back and race. But overall, majority of the time when you're handicapping, pretty much most days, you want to really watch betting on horses that have not raced in, say, 60, 90 days, even 30 days is, you know, maybe where you kind of start. I would still consider those horses, but 60 and 90, I would really reconsider betting on those horses unless there's all these other factors that point to that horse or in that horse's favor. Workouts is another thing, and I'm going to have a separate video about workouts, but you want those to be pretty consistent. So you just got to think of horses just like humans. If you've been sitting on the couch while your buddies are out training and running and practicing for mini marathons or 5K races, 3-mile races, let's say, odds are, unless you're super talented, they're going to kick your butt out there when y'all race because they've been practicing, they've been in good shape, they've been in good form, and you've been sitting on the couch eating snacking out and drinking probably unhealthy beverages. It ain't going to work, right? You're going to be out of shape, out of form, a little pudgy, but once you get in the game, you start practicing and running more consistent, then yeah, you might can get a win in against your buddies. Horses the same way, all right? So one of the first things you need to do when you handicap a horse race is look to see who's in good form, which simply means who's been racing pretty consistently, who's been working out pretty consistently. You can tell that by not having many lines in their past performances as far as in between the dates and the races. So if that's pretty free and clean, then you're probably good to go if that horse has other factors. If it has a lot of lines in it, so raced on a particular date, then has a line above that particular race, that means a layoff. A layoff, which could indicate the horse isn't in good form. Not all the time that's what that indicates, but a lot of times. And so you got to reconsider that. So try that little tip. Look for horses that are in good form, that have been racing and working out pretty consistently. Ideally, nothing more than 60 or 90 days away from the track, and you probably will find you a nice percentage of winners by betting on horses that are in good form. So if you like this video, hit thumbs up, subscribe to this YouTube channel, make sure you get on my email list, get on Facebook, Weekend Handicapper, Twitter, same way. I love making these videos. I love trying to help out fellow bettors, gamblers, horse players, and sharing my love of thoroughbred horse racing. So until next time, I'm Shane Thomas, weekendhandicapper.com. Happy handicapping and smart wagering.